Join us every Sunday for an episode of the Digital Business Forum
at 2 p.m. PST, 3 p.m. MST, 5 p.m. EST, and 10 p.m. GMT.
This forum will feature successful, experienced digital business owners with inspiring information to help you make that informed decision about starting your own digital business. By starting your own online business, you will have more free time to take control of your life, create generational wealth, retire early, and make money from anywhere in the world with just your laptop, phone, and internet. If this resonates with you, don't miss this Sunday. Digital Business Forum. Be informed, be inspired.
Yes, welcome once again to our Sunday episode of the Digital Business Forum. My name is David Kay. I'm an advisor in cybersecurity, but I'm also a digital business mentor or advisor, you may call it. We come here every Sunday to inspire you, to share information and inform you about starting your own digital or online business. Today, it's just the two of us with Dorothy. Dorothy, can you kindly take an opportunity to introduce yourself to our viewers?
All right. Hi, everybody. If it's your first time to see me, my name is Dorothy. I'm Nakalema and a proud digital business coach. Sorry. Let me just want to make sure everything looks okay. Okay. Oh. All right. Okay. Okay, guys. So if it's your first time to see me, my name is Dorothy Nakalema, and I'm originally from Uganda, and a proud digital business coach, an entrepreneur, a mom, a wife. Currently, I said I live in the United States, so that's a little bit about me. Back to you, David.
Thank you, Dorothy. I think for today, wherever you're watching us, we are going to discuss about decision making in starting up a business. Okay. Today's topic is about decision making, the decision making process for any business startup. Starting up a business involves a series of strategic and operational decisions. You know, here is a structure you can take on in the process of starting your online business, because it's not a very easy decision. And if you miss steps in the process, you are likely to find challenges. And in the bid of trying to gather information or correct those mistakes, it can be costly. Okay. We have people out there that talk to us always after these shows, or when we interact in our free time about the whole idea of setting up a business or starting a business. Say, you keep talking about starting a digital business, but what's involved? What's involved in the process? How do we identify a good idea? And how do we do our due diligence? So we thought tonight we should come up with some kind of a structure, okay, to shape the beast. Because if it's such a beast out there, we're trying to shape it and then name it. That's the only way we can say, okay, that's what it looks like, or that's what it takes to do an online business. I have a few areas that I would like to point out that I believe are key whenever you're taking on such an endeavor. Obviously, identifying the business idea opportunity, is key, because that's where all things start. So you assess your market, you validate the idea, and you consider expertise in, the things that are involved in doing the business. What's the idea? What kind of skills do I need to do this? Okay. Is the idea valid? Is it a scam? Okay. These are things that you go through when you're trying to find something viable. And then you might consider, or you have to consider, conducting your market research or some kind of a feasibility study. Does it work? Okay. And in the process, we also keep talking about doing due diligence. In doing due diligence, you're actually conducting your market research or doing a feasibility study about the business. There are several ways to do this. Some people will talk to an expert on a subject matter. Others will find somebody, some kind of a mentor who has expertise or who has done this, the kind of business they would like to do. But there are other opportunities. There are businesses such as the one we do, where you have all the information prepared for you, put in one place, giving you the A to Z of the business. How you started, what's involved, how conversation plans and everything until the end. But also, we keep talking about community, a global community. It means hundreds of thousands of people out there that are doing the same business, but all collected on one platform. You can find a Facebook group. There are all sorts of groups all over the place on social media, where you can interact with people that are doing the same type of business, so you understand the beauty of the business, the challenges involved, and how to navigate the business. And that's another way of you conducting your feasibility study. Okay. There are also other several things to think about as you're doing that. Identifying the opportunity, conducting your market research or feasibility study, and connecting to people that are doing the same type of business, things to consider. But also you yourself defining your business goals and objectives. Why are you going to do the business? What's your reason for doing the business? Because if your reason is not strong enough, if you don't have a strong enough reason to do what you're doing, trust me, at the earliest sight of a challenge, you might want to drop off. It happens to the best of us all, but one way of keeping focused and stuck onto your dream is by defining the objectives and the goals and your why, the main reason why you're doing the business. That keeps you in. There's several other areas that we might go in or discuss, but I would like to give Dorothy an opportunity to come in and have a submission, addition, subtraction, if there is, on what I just said, and share her ideas, and we move on from there. Dorothy.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, David, for this opportunity. And to our viewers out there, just get a pen and a piece of paper, because when you think about most of people, why are they actually why are they not successful in their lives? Let's actually even leave business alone, but even on your personal growth, like your life and everything, you're going to end up that what is affecting you, it's all about your decisions. It's all about the decisions you're making. And the reason as to why we came out with this topic today, it's because we realized that there is a lot of people in our comments. There's a lot of people inboxing us, but it seems the questions they have, they are, lacking knowledge to know how important it is somebody to make their own decision. And that's the main reason why we decided to come up with such a topic. So now I think we need to first understand what is decision making. Decision making is actually one of the most critical skills in both personal and professional life. And actually, a lot of individuals and businesses face choices that can significantly impact their future. So now, if you're out there, the ability, decision making, it's all about the ability of well-informed, timely, and a strategic decision can be difference, right? There's always a difference. It could be either successful or it's going to be failure. So your decisions, they are the one making you in whatever situation you are going right now. It's all about your decision. It might be that you are doing a right decision, but then it's too late for you to do that decision. And then to the other end, you might realize that, okay, when it comes to the decision, maybe I would have done that decision earlier. So now, what your decisions you're going to make, are they going to lead you to your success or to your failure? If you want the decisions to lead you to your failure, it means you yourself, you do not get informed. Like you don't do your due diligence first before you go in for that decision. So that means you're doing something because others are doing it, because others are successful. But the thing is, whatever they are doing and the reason why they are successful, it's because they did their due diligence and they made the informed decision. So we always talk about that 149. It's basically for you to make your own informed decision, right? If you're still afraid, we told you it's even a risk-free. So now when we go back to our topic, this is what it is going to, when you do your decision making, you yourself, you don't have to do the decision because Dorothy does it. Yes, you will come to me. I will tell you about the business. I will tell you everything, right? But if you do not do your due diligence and you make your own informed decision, then however much I'm successful in the business, there's a possibility that you will not be successful because you came into the business without you doing your due diligence and make that informed decision. And I've realized that most of my African immigrants out there, that's a very big challenge you're facing, because a lot of you came to me explaining businesses, online businesses, some of them even I don't know them. But to be honest, the reason why you're not successful in those businesses you're doing, it's because you did not make your informed decision. You went into that business because somebody is successful, but you didn't know what is exactly that person is doing to be successful. That is the decision we are talking about today. And once you go ahead and do that, you will realize that you will start to get, there is always guidance of growth and success. Because once you go into something, when you are well informed, even if I'm not going to tell you that this business is, you're going to get, everything is on a silver plate. No way. It's like any other business. So there are challenges. But the thing is, those challenges, while you are doing your due diligence, while you are making your decision, the challenges you saw in the business, the solutions are there, but are you able to apply those solutions as a person? Not Dorothy, because I applied mine. That's why you're seeing me today. That's why I'm successful. But the thing is, can you apply them before you proceed? Because a lot of people, even you come with your capital, you want to start right away. But the thing is, have you done your due diligence so that you can make that informed decision before you can make any step? Even if it's not this business, I always tell people, it doesn't matter, even if it's not this business, but whatever business you're going to start, you need that due diligence. It will help you to make the decision making we are talking about. And the best part of decision making is that it is going to help you to reduce the uncertainty and actually even risk. Because here now you are taking what we call the calculated risk, because you know what you're going into, you know the challenges, you know how to solve them. It means you are reducing on the risks of even you're losing money if you're to lose it. Because I always tell people, starting up a business is taking a risk. If you're an investor and you want to start up anything out there, business, whatever you're gonna start, as long as you're an entrepreneur, you are taking risk. But what you want to do, you as an entrepreneur, you need to take those calculated risks. How are you going to take the calculated risk without you making the informed decision, without you going and do your due diligence and get the informed decision so that you can make sure, okay, whatever risk I'm taking, it's going to be calculated, right? So, and while no decision comes with complete certainty, let us be real. And making informed choices helps minimize. It's going to help you to minimize your risk. You get the point? So at the end of the day, first of all, making a decision, it means you did your research, the proper research. It means you evaluate the evaluations. It's going to be helping you avoiding all those costly mistakes. Because a lot of people, they start up a business whereby Dorothy tells you, you know what, I started that business with 10,000 USD. And then somebody tells you they started that business with 30,000 USD. The thing is, you are doing the same thing, but what is different? And mind you, all the 20,000, it is all in those the costly mistakes. You know, there's things whereby sometimes you're not supposed to focus on them. There are things you have to focus on for you to make a decision. But unfortunately, sometimes you end up focusing on other things whereby they are not going to help you to make a decision. And if you don't make a decision, that means you will never do anything. The decision our parents took to take us to school, if they were told from the day you're going to take Dorothy to school, to university, I think you will, when you calculate all those years, you're going to spend more than $1 billion, shilling. I don't think some of the parents out there you would have given birth. You're like, I don't have that money. But because they did their decision and they took a step, so all the risks are calculated. Whatever you're going to go through, whatever you're going to face, it is going to be actually the opportunity to your growth, because you know it. You knew it coming, that I'm doing this. I'm a mother. I'm going into, I have a kids. Whatever challenges I'm going to face, I have a solution. What solution? Let me assume the kid is sick. I will run to the hospital. So it's the same thing as here, that when you have a challenge, you have a coach, you have a mentor. So make sure actually every business you do start there. For me, I realized that mentorship is very important. And everybody who starts a business out there, you should focus who is going to be your mentor in that business. It's not only this business, but any other business. It could be even traditional, because most of the times as to why we start a business, it's because we saw it somewhere when it is doing good, when it is like somebody successful in it. And that's the reason why you always go there. The reason why we take even our kids to school, we know, when they get these degrees, masters, they will get good profession, right? And then we take them to school. So it means you need to get a mentor. So in your decision making, it is going to help you discover all those things, so that when you get challenges, you're not just dying alone. You have solutions. That's why if you're still an employee out there, that's the reason as to why your bosses, they always travel for conferences. They always, have meetings with their managers, with their supervisors. They are looking for a solution for what is making their business not to get more profit. So it's the same thing as once you start the business with us. And the other thing, you're going to realize that it will build confidence and leadership. Because if you are to start up a business, trust me, you are building confidence, and you're going to become a leadership. Because owning a business, it's like another full government there, right? You have to be with the ministers, you have to be with the MPs. It is another full government. So now you have to come prepared that you're gonna be a leader. Because a leader, if you're owning the business, I even always tell people, when I talk about leader, to my mind, it actually, I always tell people that once you become your own boss, once you start your own business, you are automatically going to become a dictator. But most of people, they deny it. But that is the fact. Why do I say that you're going to become a dictator? Nobody of your employees know what is your vision. Nobody of your employees knows your goals. You are the one knowing their goal. You're putting them on pressure. You're doing whatever you're doing so that they can help you reach your goal. If you have a restaurant, you have employees there. Can your employee report at 10 a.m. when he's supposed to report at 6 a.m.? What is going to happen? Right? So that means there are things you are going to do beyond what you think. So I always tell people, if you're out there and you want to start up you know what is funny? A lot of people think like starting up a digital business, you just have to pay your money and sit down and then money comes in. And let's be real. Can you tell me, where have you ever gone to school and you even didn't report at school? You paid your tuition, yes, well and good, but you have never attended class and you want to get your academic documents at the end of the day. You guys, that's what you're doing. Where are you going to go? Let me say you applied for a job, they gave you the job, and then you don't report at that job daily so that you can earn, and then so that you can work and then get paid. But then at the end of the week, you're asking your boss to give you money. You've done nothing. Then money for what? It's gonna be the business. If you think you're going to invest into the business and sit down, then where is the profit going to come? Where is it going to come? So you need to first understand, if I invest this money, how is the profit just going to come? What am I supposed to do for me to get profit out of this money? When you go to school, your profit is to make sure you put in your time and perform well and then get those academic documents and go apply for the job. So it's the same thing as business. If you invest, you put your money there, you start up your business, even if it's a traditional, it needs your presence. So if you think like you're starting up a digital business or online business, well, there is the automated system which is going to do that 80% for you. But then who is going to do the 20%?
That's yours to do.
You know, if you don't do the 20%, then what is going to happen? And then at the end of the day, you're going to say, or maybe the business I started, it's not working. Maybe there's something I'm doing well. Wait a second. You always give excuses. I don't have time. I don't have time. I come back late. This and this. You people, let me tell you this. The only thing you have to do, learn how to work on yourself hard more than on your job. Yeah. Your employers, they are working a lot on themselves more than on you, the employee, because they're focusing on the income, like to multiply on their income. But you're working day and night, no income multiplied. You're still in the same situation and you're still giving excuse to yourself that you don't have time. So at the end of the day, the decision making you are doing, it is going to lead you to your failure. It's not going to take you to the success, because any successful person out there, any entrepreneur, successful business out there, let me put it that way, all those people, they are entrepreneurs. All the rich people, they are entrepreneurs. 0%, those are the employees. So where are you? Immigrants. You do come for greener pastures, right? But on the list of the richest people, you have 0% there. You are the employee, you know? So then what greener pastures did you come for? But what is it? What is affecting you is the decision you made that for you, you need to live paycheck to paycheck. The decision you're making, like, okay, if the only thing you do is one, when they fire me, I will look for another job. So you are still in your paycheck. That is the decision you made. On this planet, it is a self-service. Pick what you want. If you go on if you go to the dinner, self-service, it's up to you to pick the silver fish or to get chicken or to get fish. It really depends on you. What do you need? Do you need nuts? You need chicken. So if you're still living a paycheck, that means on the self-service, for you, that's what you picked. And then at the end of the day, whom to blame? Your decision. Once we come out here, we tell you guys there's other opportunities out there. We immigrants, that's why we even talk about immigrants, because the same problems each and every immigrant out there, as long as you left your beautiful country, the same problems you face, your fellow immigrant in the United Kingdom, it's the one they're facing. Canada, it's the one they're facing. USA, France, Australia. But why? It's because we don't understand the system. The system, it's not all about living that paycheck. But because it's the decision you made, then nobody to blame. And it's because you don't have that open mindset, then nobody to blame. It's you to blame. If you're not successful, whatever you're doing, if the boss breathing under your neck, if you are walking into that hectic environment, it's your decision, nobody else. So it's you to make that informed decision to come out of the failure decision to a successful decision. But how are you going to make that successful decision? Is through doing the due diligence and make sure whatever you're going to do, you know from A to Z. Do not start up something when you just know, this is the capital and this is how much I will earn. Okay, I need you to go there when you've understood what are you going to do to earn. If you don't know what you're going to do to earn, then why do you even have to start the business? And nobody's going to do that for you. I cannot do that for you. I will give you all whatever it takes for you to be successful. You will come and we plug you into our, proven system. But then it's up to you to take the action. Nobody's going to take it for you. That's the reason as to why we always tell people, first go. You pay your 149 US for your due diligence. It's even refundable. You're not actually even starting the business. But if you cannot do that, then who is going to do that for you? Nobody's going to do that. And as you know, the more you delay, the more the responsibilities come. And then it's going to reach a time whereby you start to regret, I wish I started it early. Because now, once the responsibilities comes up, what is going to happen? You no longer take risk by only for yourself, but even to your family, your responsibilities, your kids, your wife, your husband. So sometimes you might end up dying in that paycheck because of just little things. When you say the word decision making, come to those letters. How many are they? It's not even quarter of your age. Let me say, but it's you are fighting with it. You're fighting with your feelings. At the end of the day, you're like, maybe they witchcrafted me. My dear, nobody. You are the one witchcrafting yourself with your head to just make that decision for yourself. So that is it for me. Back to you, David.
Well, thank you, Dorothy, for your submission. Very interesting angle to look at it. Yes, you've made some critical points out there, and it's evident that many times we are limited by our own way of looking at things. But the beauty of being out here or embracing diversity and being open-minded in a way, you learn and gather information that could change the way you look at things and the way you earn, and eventually improve your life. So anyway, back to where we were initially. if we're to do a recap, I was like, whenever we talk about making a decision to do a business, because of course, as immigrants, as the way you put it, Dorothy, when people come to any new location, new home, new country or state, they have to learn the way things work in that area. And they have to support themselves. Best way to support yourself is by looking for a job to begin with, because that brings in an income as you're doing your journey to learn the environment around you, how things work, you know, the buying habits, and pretty much the culture of doing business in that area. So it's very understandable. But if you have it within you, okay, because the people that in life will be entrepreneurs, and the people that are not cut out to do businesses. It's fine if you're not cut out to do a business. You can be a very successful person in another area, probably go do your 8 to 5 and find a way to invest in mutual funds, stocks. There's several ways of investing your money and growing it, okay? And that's fine. But also we're saying that if you're cut out to be an entrepreneur, somebody that can take control of their destiny in, you know, and also shaping the way they earn or make money, then there's definitely some kind of a structure that you need to have in place to achieve these kinds of goals. To do a recap, we're talking about you identifying a business, conducting your market research or doing your due diligence, you know, then defining your goals, choosing a business model. You know, what kind of business model are you going to do? Is it going to be a traditional business or are you going digital? And we're saying, hey, we've all done traditional businesses. We know how they run. The digital era is here and we're embracing it. And we're saying it's a different way of doing things. You can leverage on technologies, have the heavy lifting done for you, 80%, you do the 20% and earn. So that kind of frees you to do the things that you love to do, spend more time with your family, and at the same time earn. And not only that, have the freedom to travel and see the world, but continue to earn, because it's business that can be done globally, digitally. For as long as you have a mobile phone, an internet connection, and a laptop, okay, you're good to go. So these are the advantages, and this is the beauty of doing digital business or trying out digital businesses. So when we look at that, of course, there's decisions that need to be made along the way at every level of you identifying, conducting research, refining your goals, and choosing a model. There are key decisions to be made, okay? And in the process of doing what you're doing, some people just get lost in the research stages and never decide to move on from there. They'll be on shows, they'll be on YouTube sites, they'll be on TikTok, listen to the same people over and over again, but fail to decide or take action. Again, it's where we come and say decision making is key. You should know where research ends and action starts. Okay, I'm doing my research, but where does the research end so that we start acting? Otherwise, you just stay, you become a very good researcher. You can become a very good researcher in all stages, okay, and never take action. And if you can't take action, definitely there's nothing that's coming out of it. So while we do think through all the stages of building ourselves a business or trying out opportunities, we have to also know when to strike and actually decide. But while you are at it, doing your research or putting together this kind of information, gathering information to do your business, you can also look at it from another angle. Dorothy mentioned mentorship, that you need a good mentor. You need to find mentors. If you're going to do business, you need good mentorship. You need to be talking to people that are doing business so that they kind of point a torch for you.
Excuse me,
Okay.
David, just a second. When you spoke about mentor, I just remember that there's somebody who used to, like, not even used, but he was like misunderstanding the difference between a mentor and a role model. Most of people, they take a role model to be their mentor. A role model, sometimes you cannot even actually access that person, but you're admiring whatever they are doing, right? But you cannot even have access. You cannot even talk to them. You cannot even have a one-on-one talk. That means that is a role model. So I wanted just to pass it to out there for people. A lot of people, they think like a mentor, they tend to
confuse the difference between mentorship
a mentorship and a role model. A
and the role
mentorship
model.
is a person who is going to sit on table with you one-on-one, basically, if it's the business, basically to make you success, like to be successful in a business. You're like always talk in those, the talks of business. How you gonna do better in your business? What are the challenges? How are we gonna overcome them? What are the solutions? But some people, I don't know why. Anyway, that's what I wanted to pass.
Thank you. Thank you for clarifying that. Yes, when we talk about mentorship, we're not talking about a role model. It's good to have role models. Role models motivate us because we get to see what they're doing and admire them for that. But when we're talking about mentorship, we're talking about that person that will hold your hand along the way to make sure that you see success in whatever it is that you're trying to get into. So for many businesses out there, it's key and it's important that as you look around, you identify opportunities that will give you some level of mentorship as well. If yours has it, then you're a very lucky one. There are many that don't. In other words, you will find information, you'll start the business, but there's nobody to hold your hand. You're on your own. So there are others where you have mentorship, you have coaching, and that kind of gives you, the support that you need to move from stage A to B and to finally see your success in that business. But you see, again, as we're talking about making decisions and gathering information for your business startup or for your new found business idea, we're saying it's also key. Okay, if you can't find mentorship, it's important to pair yourself with smart people, okay, or skilled people. Find people in different fields or areas. Get a friend. I know you've gone to school with all sorts of people. Find somebody that has done finance, okay? Maybe finance and investment. Find somebody that is good with finances so that when it comes to making financial decisions, looking for funding or financing your business or whatever it is, these are people you can talk about. They'll tell you things about credit. If you're in the first world, the credit economies, they'll explain to you credit, the importance of having credit, how you can use it, grow it, and take advantage of the system because it's there for you. Anyway, find somebody that's smart or has skills, in the legal area, a lawyer or a judge or somebody that understands the law, that is capable of looking at the finer detail in documents and tell you, okay, you see this right here, don't miss that or don't miss this. They'll tell you because they've seen these documents all over. Even if it's you setting up a bank account, they can tell you where to look because we all go out there and just sign documents and say, okay, this is what I got into. I got a business account here, but we don't have people that can tell us, hey, you know what? When you're doing this, look out for these areas, or dodge this, or this might not necessarily work for you. So we know how to navigate these areas and make informed decisions. So if you can't make these decisions on yourself and you don't believe to be smart enough to do that for yourself, like we're all not smart in so many areas, it means we need each other. We need to find people that are skilled in different areas and keep them in our basket so we can do these kinds of consultations, and this helps in decision making. So find a skilled person in finance, find a skilled person in legal affairs, find a skilled person, maybe in sales and marketing, somebody that understands how things work in the marketing area, in administration, okay. Some people are very good with just setting up structures in an organization or helping you scale your business. They'll tell you, okay, you know what, you're starting a business, you're wearing so many hats, but there's a better way you can start to scale at this level, or this is how you need to do it. And these are business consultants. They can help you if you talk to them and if you sit them. People are skilled out there. When people leave their home countries and come out into the first worlds, not everybody is lucky to do their profession. I mean, cybersecurity, it's what I know how to do. I've done it for years. I continue to do that here, and I've set up a business around it. And it's not every day that you'll find somebody that will tell you that the same field that they've gone to school for, when they came out here, they continue to do that. And I can't say I did that immediately. I had to work in other fields. I worked in manufacturing. Okay, I worked behind Tesla Motors manufacturing plants. Very proud of it, because that's work. I love to earn a living. I love to make $1. It was one way to earn $1 for many months. I learned what I learned behind the assembly line, but I came back and found my way back into technology, set up a business around technology, and continued to do that. But you see, there was all a phase of doing the due diligence, legalizing, okay? Because you set up a business, you set up a digital business, you're going to have to set up to choose to make the decision on whether you're going to run it as a sole proprietor or as an LLC if you're in California, or a limited liability company if you're in the UK, or an S Corp if you're here in the US. There's several structures you can choose, and each one of these structures presents different opportunities, benefits, and challenges. So navigating that area also is something that you need support with, make decisions on, and know how you are going to operate. You can start initially by just doing it as an individual, sole proprietor, and end of the year, the requirement is different when you're doing your taxes. Or you can choose to do it as a company, run it as a company, and operate. And at the end of the day, again, apply different tax, apply or pay your taxes, in a different way as well, because it's a different way of looking at income and expenses, different way of looking at it from a sole proprietor's angle, and all sorts of things. Okay, and again, also different from what you know when you're doing an 8 to 5. So these are the kind of things that you need to think about, and these are the kinds of relationships you have to build around yourself to prepare yourself for doing something different. If you're going to go into business, then it's about that time that you grabbed your phone, okay, and dialed some numbers of the people you know that are skilled in different areas to help you navigate the entire setup of running your own business, setting up your own business. So again, back to the entire structure we're talking about. As part of doing that, looking at your legalities, compliancy, decisions in that area as well. And then you can look at launching your idea, okay? Because with the help and decisions you make with financial and securing funds and financing your plan, because when you look at an idea, at the end of the day, you're going to do your due diligence, but at the end of the day, there's financing and funding for your idea, okay? Where I spoke of a friend somewhere in your phone, somebody you can dial to tell you about the different options you have about raising funds, whether you have savings or you're going to take advantage of financing, okay? You need to understand how things work. For those that are in the first world, credit systems, how do these systems work? How can you take advantage of them, but don't end up on the wrong side of things? Because there are people who will take these financing, strategies. They will get the funding, and they won't take their responsibility to pay up. Okay, you start a business, you are financed. They give you, reasonable terms. Say, well, it's going to be interest-free. There's the businesses that will help you to set up, and they'll give you interest-free financing. They say, okay, you're gonna pay in 16 months. You're gonna pay in 8 or a year, 8 months or a year, interest-free. Oh, and you love it. You take advantage of it. Month 1, no payment. Month 2, no payment. Month 3, you pay some $200. Month 4, you've disappeared. Month 5, your phones are not on. Month 6, but you're running a business. You're saying that you're running a business, but you have also been financed, but you're not taking care of your responsibilities. So when things go west, those are the people sometimes you hear that, oh no, it was a disaster. I started a business. I can never start a business. But when you remove the veil, oh boy, you're going to see irresponsible behavior. Okay, they're not telling you that they were irresponsible about the financing they took on. So by having somebody on your side that can advise you on these things, you probably didn't need financing because you can't afford to take on that strategy based on your habits, your financial habits. Probably you are the type that would have done better by just saving, taking your time to save your money and invest your money rather than take on financing. So all these are decisions that we take, but we do need information to make the right decision. With that, Dorothy, I don't know, do you have anything to add on?
I don't have a lot to add on. Or you probably almost explained everything. So our viewers out there, I can see the number is growing, but unfortunately we are almost ending. So you will watch the replay, okay? So my last words, I could say that make sure whatever decision you are making, it's either a long-term decision or a short time. So that's why we tell people to first do their due diligence well, even because it's going to help you to make that informed decision. There is no way you are going to make a decision without researching, without doing your due diligence, without at least paying an expert. You know, for me, when I wanted to start up a certain business, I'm not gonna mention it here, but I paid the due diligence. I paid money just to make my research before I go into the business. And it was a traditional business. This is where I paid almost $3,000 just for the due diligence, including lawyers and experts. But unfortunately, you people, I didn't do that business because I know I was looking for a long-term business. I was looking to build a business which will give me passive income, not active income. I was not looking for a business whereby, okay, if one day, one time I cannot even report to that, business, the business cannot run without me. Okay, even if it's running, but it's not giving me the profit the way it was giving me when I'm physically there, or when my employees know that I'm on ground. So I'm like, okay, however much I invested into this business to do my due diligence, research and everything before starting it, I'm like, well, I'm not going to go for it because my goals, the business, it is all about the short-term business. It was all about an active business. Yes, it was a good business. A lot of people out there, they're even doing it. They can earn 20,000, 40,000, even 50 per month. But I didn't go for it. Why? Because my goals, it was to build a passive income business, not an active income business. Whereby an active income, if you're no more, your income is no more. If anything happens to you, let me say health ways, you could not, be, you cannot maybe report to that business, or you can anything whereby it is involving you to be physically there. If you cannot be there, that business cannot operate. It means it is an active business. Without you, you cannot earn. And I realized that this business, a lot of people in their retirement age, they are selling it out. And me, I was not looking for that. I was looking for something passive. It's gonna be there because starting a business, you are breaking a financial struggle chain in your family, or even generations to come. So I didn't want to start something and then my retirement I sell, because okay, I was living good, I had a good life and everything. That means my generations, or even my kids, my grandkids, all that generations to come, they are going to go through exactly same thing I went through. They are going to first dive into the paycheck, like living paycheck to paycheck. They will still go into that same struggle. And I'm like, I'm not looking for that. So that means me doing my due diligence and knowing my goal and my strongest why I start up this business. It was because I was looking for something for the passive income. And any business for passive income, it's not going to grow by overnight. So I knew whatever thing I was going to go through. I knew all the I actually knew all the challenges, but the most important thing, I know how to solve them, because there are a lot of people out there doing it and they're successful. So if they can do it, I can do it. You people, nobody knew Elon Musk in the last 15 years. Actually, he was not even in the first 50, in the first 50 richest people in the world. But as we speak, whatever he started, it was he was planning a passive income, a long-term business, not a short-term business. That's why from nowhere, he's now the richest person in the world. And guess what? Even the second person, he's not half of what he earns. So what does it tell you? be with your strong why and make your due diligence while going to start anything. Even if anything you start in life, just make sure you have that. And my last words are, decision making is a skill, by the way. That is a skill. So if you do not have that skill, it means you're going to have to develop it. And how are you going to develop that skill? Because you develop it by experience, like with experience and practice. So it means if you're out there and you think whatever we are talking about here, it's just something you're going to wake up and start right away. No, it took me 6 months for me to do my due diligence and my research to the business I wanted to start. And I invested in that due diligence over $3,000 but I even didn't do the business. And I'm contented because I was going to put down over $70,000 just to start that business, knowing it is, this is the goal I want. If I want to make $20,000 a month, well, it's okay. You can start any business and you start making it. But what I want you to focus on, is it sustainable for you to make that money each and every month? That is the long term I'm talking about. Like, even if you are not there, even if you're not physically there, your business will not need that presence, like for you to make money. But when you are starting it, by all means, it will need it. It will need that presence. But if you build your business and it starts to sustain, once it sustains, you will even never think about the challenges or whatever you went through. Me, when you ask me the challenges I faced into this business, to be honest, they were there, but I have to think a lot so that I remember them. When you ask me right now and tell me, Dorothy, what are the challenges you faced into this business? The fact is, yes, the challenges were there. But for me to start explaining to them, you need to give me time. I need to think, because the challenges I went through while starting my own business, right now, the success is overwhelming. So while starting the business, make sure once you're doing that due diligence, the decision making, it's a skill you have to develop with experience and practice. So if you think you're gonna just wake up and jump on something and then suddenly you just be financially stable, in business, I always tell people, in business, there is no miracle. There is no miracle in business. You have to make it work. If you don't make it work, it's like telling me to go on a freeway. I stand in the middle of the freeway, and then I stand while cars are coming, yet I have my legs and I don't run away. Telling me. So if you're out there now, it's high time to start practice that, that development. You need to develop it. And once you are done to develop it, trust me, you will understand that, whatever I'm doing, you will start even seeing things are moving. Because
I think, Dorothy, it has to be paired with action taking when you decide. Because if you look at it this way, you make a decision whether you intend to or not.
Exactly.
What do I mean? Think about it from an angle of where you have to go to church. Today is Sunday. You have to go to church, or you want to go to church, and you're thinking about church. You wake up in the morning, you think about church, and you're thinking about going or not going. So many people would think that when they decide to go and act on it and actually go, so they've made a decision. However, the decision is made even when you don't decide to go. So either way, you're deciding. You're either deciding to go.
But then they are in two angles. There is a positive decision and the negative decision.
And that's why I'm saying that either way you're deciding. If you have it in your mind and you do your research and you do whatever it takes to try and gather information, either way you're deciding on whether to do it or not. So pretty much I'm thinking and I'm saying that these decisions should be paired up with taking action. You know what I mean? So yeah, with taking action. And that's when you say that, hey, you know what? Good idea. I saw it. I did my due diligence. I did my research. And now it's time to take action. Because without the action,
nothing. Yeah. So that means it takes us like, the decision making, it's actually both business or life or your personal life, and making smart choices. That is what exactly David, he has been talking about, like making smart choices. It leads you to growth, right? So if they are not smart, then they are not going to lead you to the growth. So it's really, while doing your decisions, you have to think about that too. Is the decision I'm making, does it lead me to growth or not to growth? Then it's you to make it, because this planet, it's self-service. It's your choice to make a decision making whereby it is going to make you to your growth, or it's going to take you somewhere else. It's really depending on you. And there is confidence and success, taking charge. Actually, guys, let me tell you the powerful of decision making. Taking charge of a decision puts you in control of your future. So that means if you cannot make the decision whereby it can help you and leads you maybe to your growth or your financial stability, if it cannot lead you there, nobody takes that. There is somebody's taking that decision, charge to make that decision for you. And who is your employer right now? Because whatever contract you signed, there is a limitation on your income every month. For you, you have to be paid $4,000, $5,000 per month. That means you are not making a decision to your future. You're not controlling your future. And if you don't control the future, what happens? You can't be successful still, because how are you going to be successful? Yet somebody else there is the one controlling you. Anybody controls your income, they control your future, they control your success. So at the end of the day, you don't blame them. They did their decision making and they started their business. Now they're employing you. So it is up to you to make yours. If you don't want somebody to take control of your future, then it's high time you bring your future on your fingertips so that you can control it. And that is it for me. Back to you, David.
All right, thank you. Thank you all for having joined us, for being here with us tonight. It was a wonderful time being with you. Our discussion for today ends here, I believe. We hope that you've learned a thing or two that will help you to decide for your own self on how to go about taking those critical decisions, especially when you're creating or setting up any kind of business for yourself. We will encourage you, as we usually do, to do that due diligence and take advantage of the digital space. Until next Sunday, we are saying bye-bye.
Oh, did you get to go through the comments before we go?
Yes, I actually pulled up a few. Okay, go about it and let's close this.
All right. So this one says absolutely Osbig. I don't know how to pronounce that name.
Yeah, I think I did. If you're doing this, yeah, I did this.
Okay, you did it. Okay, all right. Thank you so much, everybody who has been with us. See you next Sunday. It's going to be 16th March 2025. If you want to change your life, make sure you do not miss every Sunday, 2 p.m. Pacific time, 5 p.m. Eastern time, 10 p.m. Is it UK time? And what other time? Mountain time, 3 p.m. And actually, trust me, the rest will be history. Be with open mindset, and the rest is going to be history for you. All right. And bye-bye for now.
Join us every Sunday for an episode of the Digital Business Forum
at 2 p.m. PST, 3 p.m. MST, 5 p.m. EST, and 10 p.m. GMT.
This forum will feature successful, experienced digital business owners with inspiring information to help you make that informed decision about starting your own digital business. By starting your own online business, you will have more free time to take control of your life, create generational wealth, retire early, and make money from anywhere in the world with just your laptop, phone, and internet. If this resonates with you, don't miss this Sunday.